this track, we were speaking Polish. What does Polish sound like to someone who doesn't understand it?
Oh, that's hard to describe.
Sounds like you've got 5 tongues.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds very difficult. Right. It sounds like a difficult language to learn.
Yes, incredibly.
Okay. But you know that different languages have their like melodies, right? You know that.
Yes.
Yes.
Like for example, some people say that Mandarin Chinese sometimes sounds like somebody's angry, and French is like very romantic.
It does have a bit of a like to the point sort of aggression, like
Polish.
Yeah,
has
yeah.
this different
Yeah.
kind of
One
aggression.
tone, isn't it?
I heard that before, you know.
Oh right. I mean, I once heard someone say that Polish sounds like somebody playing a tape backwards.
yeah. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Were you able to pick up anything that we were talking about?
No idea.
We're able to
Absolutely
pick up
no
a
idea.
few names and such.
Oh
and
yeah, like when song names were mentioned or like people's names, but other than that,
no.
absolutely no idea.
Lost.
So before this track, I asked Kamil what Jackdaw was about, and he said that it was about a certain bird that was stalking Jim.
Yes, yes, it was.
Yeah, not a female, an actual bird. Like during the lockdown, which is when all these song ideas came about, it was a very hot time. I can't remember what sort of month it was where it was its hottest, but I had to sit outside. And one day this bird just came into the garden, and it was a jackdaw. I had to identify it was a jackdaw because I'd never seen one before.
And you can recognize when you hear a jackdaw, you know that it's a jackdaw.
Yeah.
Are you good at recognizing different?
No, 'cause I didn't know anything about a jackdaw. I'd never seen one before in my area at all.
He's actually a secret bird watcher.
I'm not a twitcher. No. It basically just came into the garden every day and stayed with me during what I would say was quite difficult times, being furloughed, not being able to go out, see anyone, and basically, just became my friend.
He even made it into the local news.
I was about to say, this bird even has its own news article.
Yeah.
And the song.
And the song now, yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
probably dead
by
now.
the by.
It's
To
probably
be fair,
Wow, way to be morbid, Jim.
they don't last that long. That's the thing, do they?
Yeah.
Bringing the mood
And
down.
he says he's not a bird watcher.
One day it just wasn't there, so I presume it's dead, or it's migrated or something.
Maybe he finds someone else who's going to write song for him, you know.
But that bird inspired the writing for the rest of the EP. So.
And one other thing that we talked about with Kamil in the before this track was about Kamil's contribution to your sound. And Kamil said that he comes up with some riffs, but it's always a bit of a compromise between other members of the team. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Camille comes up with the riff ideas, and then we sort of jam along with him. And then once the drums go down, it can change the structure of a song slightly, and then we rework the guitars and bass around that. And it's a collection of ideas that amalgamate and come together to form this nice blend of dystopian frontier metal.
Have you ever had an argument about like what a song should sound like?
No, absolutely
No,
not.
no, but
never.
But you know,
I believe you.
when we
Yes, please do.
when we cut the songs with Jim, I cried actually because he said like, "Do you trust me?" I said, "Yeah, I trust you." So we cut the songs, you know.
Oh, yeah, that was
make them
like-
shorter, you know.
That was like the biggest part of writing this album was unwriting like 2/3 of the song. It's just like, this song is way too long, so we just cut sections out. And Jim was absolutely ruthless during that. So like, it's not a joke. Camille did cry.
Yeah.
He did have a tear in his eye.
Do you have like two versions of your songs? Like one
Yes,
for
we
the
do. We've
album?
got demo versions and such that are. What did we cut? We cut about an
I think
average
we
of.
get on average about 156 demos for
Yeah.
each song, and then they get changed slightly, and we keep them all because we want to have that archive.
But the
for
average
future.
the average song length from when the demos first get put together versus the finished product, they're like
start at 8 minutes.
no, not quite. But the average song length has been they've been cut on average by about a minute each, just to try and respect the listener's time.
You know that kind of bad habit when you try and collect everything because everything could be useful in a future or something. That was me collecting the stuff in a song, and
He's a
Jim is
kleptomaniac
just
when it
cut it.
comes
It's
to
like,
music.
look, you don't need that. You don't need that. That actually doesn't repeat again, so you don't need that as well. So we just cut. It's like, oh, why are you cutting my So yeah, do you trust me? So yeah, was a kind of amazing thing. You just learn from people about that, because in my opinion those songs were not interested at all, but they are. It's just that kind of impression, and he actually could provide that perfect, I would say, product, because those songs are actually perfect now. They're not too long. There's lots of melodies. There's heaviness. There is everything in that songs. So I'm quite happy with that new release which coming this year.
I expected you would say that you would have a full extended version that you play in concerts, and then the more compact versions that you put on your albums.
I mean, we would, but we don't get booked for long enough sets.
Yeah, and other thing is people expect from performance again exactly that thing what you provide on a CD. So you wouldn't just disappoint people. This is not what we're trying to do.
How often do you jam, or do you play? Basically,
we usually aim to do it once a week over Christmas. It's been a bit of a quiet period for us, but yeah, if we're not gigging, we're once a week at least. And then as individuals, we all rehearse in our own time as well.
Do you bring your own ideas to the session, for instance, that you came up with something on your own and then you share it with the band?
More often than not, songwriting ideas get brought to everyone's attention before we actually go into a room to practice. It just means that we spend more of that time practicing some ideas that we've already agreed upon first. It just means we don't waste rehearsal studio time.
Okay. I know that being in the studio and recording is always a moment of truth, right?
Yes.
So you have to be absolutely ready, and it kind of exposes you, right?
Yes.
All the nuances, all the imperfections.
I was about to say, tell that to Camille, giving me a song 3 days before we go into the studio.
I just want to say he's an incredible drummer. He just went to the studio. He just set up his drums. We just put microphones. He sit down behind the drums, and he was like machine. He play 2 or 3 takes, and there was nothing to change because they were exactly the same, perfect. So yeah.
You're giving me too much credit here.
Yeah, it's
it's valuable airtime,
Yeah.
Well, let's move on.
We need some credit. Come on.
Yeah. So
And then there's Jim.
Okay, Jim, at which point do you start writing a lyric for a track?
Very last minute. Very last minute.
He's not even joking.
Yeah, so that EP was done in over 2 weeks, I would say.
yeah.
During the lockdown. I didn't have a clue, and The Bird was my inspiration for that lyric, and it just came down all the way through all the songs. And it's the same for this one. I got given the single and told to write some lyrics, and I literally went in the room the same day and just put the lyrics and the melody and everything together in that day. The album that's coming out this year, Camille's already done all the music for, or we've all done it together.
Yes.
But I'm not going to write the vocals until that first single's out this time. So I'm doing a different approach. So it'll be whatever. After that one comes out, it'll be whatever I think of, I'm going to write about for the next one.
So music comes first, and you kind of need to listen to it and kind of understand what the music is about, and then you kind of write some lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite funny because we had a previous EP. We had a few months to just record the drums, guitars, everything. And Jim had just few days to do the lyrics, and it's funny because I think sometimes if you are under the pressure, you can make amazing things, great things, Voldemort. Horrible but great, yeah. Anyway, just want to say great things, and he done excellent work, with the lyrics. He just put the subject we focus on animal side of our nature, and I said, no, that's ridiculous, and it was absolutely brilliant, amazing, and the parts of vocals what he line on that tracks. I remember the moment when he just sent me a storm cloud, and I actually literally cried because that was so beautiful, I didn't expect anything like that. So yeah, this time he got more time, so I think it will be even better.
Yeah, you heard it.
It will be.
You heard it here first.
I've made that promise to myself
So
that whatever we do gets better and better. Otherwise, we're not putting it out.
You're working on this album. Do you play any gigs?
Yes.
Do you have anything lined up?
Yeah, we've got quite a few. We've got Nottingham coming up on the 9th of February. Then we're playing Kettering on the 23rd of February. Then we're headlining Norwich on the 24th of February. We have a gig on the 1st of March. I don't know where that is.
That's the one in Blackpool.
That's the one in Blackpool, yeah. And was potentially going to be followed up by London the next day, but I was like, no, we are not doing Blackpool to London.
Quite a distance, actually.
We did Blackpool to Hartlepool. That was good.
Yeah, and we also did Leeds to Bridgewater last year.
That was not good.
That was bonkers.
So you came here today from Norwich.
Norwich,
right?
yes.
How long did it take? I mean, you have a van, right?
We're not in a van today. We're in a car because it's a bit more practical for Cambridge
You
Street.
don't have your instruments with you, right?
Yeah, when we travel, we do travel in force. So we provide, most of the time, we provide the back line. We literally travel with everything, cabs, drums, the whole lot. So wherever we are, if any like musical instrument or cab is required, we can usually supply it.
Yeah, you have to be ready all the time for any circumstances.
And that's where the van comes in.
Right. Who's the driver?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was the journey from Norwich? How long did it take you actually to get to Cambridge?
It's only about an hour and a half because I stopped off in Thetford to pick up Jim because me and Camille come from Norwich. We pick up Jim on the way, and James has travelled from
the outlier. I'm from Northampton.
So there's a bit of a mix of where we come from, but predominantly we are Norfolk and Norwich based. But yeah, it was an hour and a half drive. It was quite smooth sailing. So.
Okay. I mean, do you enjoy playing gigs?
Yeah, I love playing gigs.
Absolutely.
It's quite demanding. Like you have to be on the road.
Yeah,
time.
the days are long, so sometimes you're spending the entire day just to play a half hour, 45-minute set, and then drive back. And me being like north side of Norwich, I'm usually the last one in, so most of the times I get in about 3-4 o'clock in the morning after a gig. So yeah, it's quite a long day, but I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
We get to play our music and meet people.
Yeah.
New people. Otherwise, if we just stayed in Norwich, we'd just be playing to the same people, same songs,
We get to
and it would
travel,
become a bit boring. But
get to
I love the scenery and getting to know new people and getting our name out there, and it's gone really well, hasn't it, so far?
Yeah,
very well.
We've done like 34 shows last year, and we're trying to get more this year.
Oh right, 34. Yeah, that's quite busy.
Yeah, it was a busy year. We want to try and improve each year, so last year was the first year as this full lineup because I joined the band in January and completed our current setup. We've dropped a guitarist and gone to a laptop. Because a laptop is more reliable than a guitarist that we tried. So yeah, it just worked. So we're now a 4-piece. But yeah, it's been phenomenal, and we haven't looked back since.
Right.
Also, since we moved to the laptop, our overall show production value has gone up. Partially because we've got a lot of the stuff on backing tracks, but backing tracks have a tendency to expose bad musicians
And bad
because you have to be on. You have to be
Precisely.
on it for the backing track because otherwise it sounds awful.
Goes out of sync. Yeah.
So it's pushed up, like it's improved our show, but it's also pushed us as musicians to be tight.
Yeah, I think since end of 2022, we just make huge progress on the stage.
Okay. Well, we're slowly running out of time. We want to hear one more of your tracks. So, if anyone would like to follow you, Facebook,
Yeah.
any other places?
Facebook.
We have YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah. Instagram,
If
Herdra.uk.
you just search everything Herdra.uk, you'll find it.
Yeah.
Herdra.uk.
And that's on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Even if you put it in your web browser, Herdra.com as well.
Yeah,
so.
our website,
Yep.
Okay, so I've got Stolen prepared. We'll hear it in a second. Thank you, dear listeners, for being with us today. Please tune in again next Sunday from 5 p.m. for more Polish Waves. The link to today's show will soon be posted on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Polish Waves. And please make sure you follow us. Thank you, Herdra.
Thank you
very
for
much.
having
Thank
us.
you very much.
Hopefully, or when you've got your new single, you will let me know. And
Definitely.
please
Of
come
course.
back, please come back to our studio. stay tuned to Cambridge 105 Radio. Coming up next is Centuries of Sound from 6, right after the news. Today's Polish Waves will play out with a track from Herdra titled